20 underground structures no one knows about. What if the most important buildings in history were never built above ground? What if entire labs, bunkers, and facilities, some older than pyramids, were never meant to be seen by daylight at all? You've heard of underground cities, but this is different. These are single structures, crafted with precision, layered in secrecy, and placed underground for reasons that still remain unclear. Some are military strongholds, others are ancient temples, a few, we don't even know who built them. Part 1. The Hidden Beginning. Let's begin in Russia, where the mysterious Yamantau mountain complex lurks beneath the Ural Mountains. Officially, the government says it's a mining site, but satellite images and testimony from former military officials suggest something far more intense. A facility possibly the size of Washington, D.C., buried deep underground. Hardened against nuclear attack, its exact purpose is unknown, but many believe it houses weapons, command centers, or even entire living quarters for elites. No one gets close, no one talks, and no outsider has ever seen inside. In Norway, there's a structure that protects not people, but seeds. The Svalbard Global Seed Vault, nicknamed the Doomsday Vault, is hidden inside a frozen mountain just 800 miles from the North Pole. It's not a dramatic fortress, but what lies inside is humanity's agricultural future. Over 1 million seed varieties from nearly every country, stored in case global crops are wiped out. If the world collapses, this silent concrete vault could regrow it all, and yet barely anyone knows it's even there. Now fly south to Turkey, where the massive basilica cistern lies beneath Istanbul's bustling streets. Built in the 6th century by Byzantine Emperor Justinian, this underground cathedral of pillars once stored water for the city. Its rows of stone columns stretch into eerie darkness, holding the weight of centuries above them. And at the far end, a giant Medusa head, used as a base for one of the columns. No one knows why. Locals avoid eye contact. Superstitions run deep. Even in modern times, it's hard to shake the feeling that something ancient watches from the shadows. Then there's Project Iceworm, a Cold War operation buried beneath the Greenland ice sheet. In 1959, the U.S. secretly constructed Camp Century, an entire network of tunnels, labs, and missile silos built under the guise of a scientific outpost. The goal? Install nuclear weapons pointed at the Soviet Union, hidden under the snow. But the ice proved unstable, and the project was abandoned. Now, with climate change, the camp is re-emerging, along with toxic waste and secrets frozen for 60 years. And beneath the peaceful hills of Wiltshire, England, lies the Corsham Bunker, a vast underground facility that could shelter the entire British government during a nuclear attack. Miles of tunnels connect offices, dorm, power stations, and even a hospital. It was so secret, most citizens didn't know it existed until decades later. To this day, many doors remain sealed and entire chambers unexplored. You think you know your world until you realize how much of it was built to stay hidden forever. But these are just the surface level secrets. The next ones were buried to erase history and maybe even reality. Part 2. The vaults time forgot. Some underground structures weren't built for defense or even disaster. They were built to disappear, to take people, knowledge, and even time itself and lock it away. These aren't war bunkers. These are vaults of memory, obsession, and silence. Beneath the busy streets of Paris, France, lies a vault that has little to do with the catacombs, the National Archives' secret underground storage. Inside a highly secure concrete chamber, far below the city's noise, sits a temperature-controlled labyrinth of documents. Presidential memos, World War II intelligence, royal decrees from the 1600s, all hidden away. Most Parisians walk over it daily, unaware that below their feet lies centuries of decisions, betrayals, and forgotten truths. Across the ocean, in New York City, a mysterious place known only as the Grand Central Terminal M42 room hides in plain sight. You can't find it on any map. It was kept secret even during World War II. Why? Because the transformers inside powered the entire terminal and much of Manhattan. Sabotaging this room could have paralyzed troop transport and communications across the U.S. Armed guards once stood watch around the clock. To this day, it remains off-limits to the public, a silent guardian humming beneath the rush of commuters. Now enter Mazin, Ukraine, home to one of the oldest underground structures ever discovered. Inside the Mazin cave, archaeologists found artifacts that predate recorded history, including geometric carvings, musical instruments, and even what may be one of the world's first calendars. What's bizarre is the cave's construction. Parts were deliberately carved for ceremonial or astronomical use. But who built it, and why did they bury it? These aren't just signs of early life, they're signs of early thinking. In Tokyo, Japan, underneath the bustle of Shinjuku, lies a lesser-known marvel, the underground flood discharge tunnel, sometimes called the Underground Temple. With enormous pillars rising like some ancient ruin, this is one of the world's largest flood control facilities. It's not a secret because of fear. It's forgotten because it's hidden so well. Only a handful handful of visitors are allowed each year. But should Tokyo ever be hit by a super typhoon, this underground structure would save millions, silent. Then there's the strange mystery of Burlington, Iowa, in the United States, where local legends speak of an entire abandoned underground city beneath the town square. While officials deny its scale, fragments of sealed tunnels and bricked-over doorways suggest there's more than meets the eye. Whispers of illegal gambling halls, prohibition bars, and even hidden churches circulate. Some say there are maps that were never released to the public. Others say it's all just ghost story. But every once in a while, a new shaft collapses, and the rumors come roaring back. These aren't just underground structures. They're forgotten chapters in the story of civilization. Places built not to be found, but to make sure certain truths never rise again. But the next hidden structures, they weren't meant to hide secrets. They were built to survive the end of the world. Part 3. Built for the end of the world. Some underground structures aren't just about secrecy. They're about survival. These are the bunkers, vaults, and chambers created not to store things, but to outlive us. What happens when civilization ends? These places plan to answer that. Let's begin with Cheyenne Mountain Complex in Colorado, USA, a nuclear command center literally carved inside a granite mountain. Built during the Cold War, this facility was designed to withstand direct nuclear strikes, with massive blast doors weighing 25 tons each. Inside are 15 buildings mounted on shock absorbers to survive even if the Earth shakes. It monitors threats from space, air, and land, and despite decades of upgrades, it remains fully operational. You'll never see it up close, but if global war breaks out, this is where survival might begin. Now descend to Switzerland, home to one of the densest networks of civil defense shelters in the world. But one stands out: Sonnenberg Tunnel Bunker. Built under a mountain near Lucerne, it doubles as a highway tunnel and a fallout shelter capable of housing 20,000 people. With self-contained water, air filtration, and even a hospital inside, it was meant to protect civilians from the unthinkable. Though partially decommissioned, parts of it remain ready, a sleeping giant carved in rock, just waiting for the worst-case scenario. Over in Iran lies the Natanz underground facility, a controversial, heavily fortified site believed to be central to the country's nuclear program. Hidden beneath layers of earth and concrete, it's designed to resist airstrikes and cyber attacks alike. International inspectors have limited access, and satellite images show ongoing expansion. While nations debate over politics, engineers dig deeper, and just how deep this place goes is anyone's guess. Then there's Mount Weather, just 48 miles from Washington, D.C. This top-secret facility has long been rumored to be where the U.S. government would relocate during national emergencies. It reportedly includes full administrative offices, secure communication systems, and housing for high-ranking officials. Some believe it played a key role during 9/11, when senior government figures disappeared for several hours.
But it's not on tourist maps. It doesn't have a gift shop. You only go in if the world's about to break. In Pyongyang, North Korea, satellite analysts have identified what may be underground military cities, complete with rail networks and air defense systems. Though impossible to confirm, defectors have described sprawling underground complexes built over decades, some housing missiles, others whole battalions. With surveillance limited and media tightly controlled, these facilities exist in a fog of mystery, perfect for hiding firepower or simply fear. Finally, return to Greenbrier Resort in West Virginia, USA. Beneath this luxury hotel lies a fully equipped Cold War bunker, once a top-secret congressional fallout shelter. Meant to protect all 535 members of Congress, it included dorms, cafeterias, and broadcast room. The public didn't know it existed until 1992, when a journalist exposed it. Today, it's a historical exhibit, but its silent walls remember a time when panic lived just beneath the marble floor. These bunkers weren't accidents. They were warnings, built by governments who expected chaos. And in many cases, they still stand, waiting for a disaster that hasn't arrived yet. But what if the next underground chambers weren't made by us at all? What if we simply discovered them and still don't understand what they're for? Part 4. Structures we didn't build or understand. Not all underground structures are human blueprints buried in rock. Some were never meant to be discovered, and others, we still don't know who created them or why. Beneath the surface of Derinkuyu, Turkey, lies a city so massive it could shelter 20,000 people, livestock, food stores, and all. Carved directly into soft volcanic rock, it has ventilation shafts, escape tunnels, and even stone doors that roll shut from the inside. It's not just impressive, it's impossible by modern standards. Who carved this intricate maze? How did ancient tools create such engineering precision? Historians don't agree. Some say it was a hiding place from invasion. Others believe it dates back to a lost civilization, or something even older. Now head to Malta, where the Hal Saflieni Hypogeum confounds archaeologists. This 3-level underground structure was built around 4000 BCE, complete with with smooth stone chambers, curved passageways, and an acoustically perfect oracle room that vibrates the human voice in bizarre ways. No blueprint, no written records, no signs of tool. What's more, ancient skeletons found inside were elongated and unusually shaped, sparking fringe theories of alien visitors or underground humanoids. Most of the site is off limits now, closed to the public after unexplained phenomena during dig. In Ecuador, the Cueva de los Tayos cave system dives deep into the Andes. Local Shuar tribes consider it sacred. In 1976, an expedition led by Neil Armstrong descended into tunnels looking for metallic books and strange engravings said to be left by an unknown civilization. While the mission returned with little proof, explorers since have found symmetrical passageways and polished stone chambers that don't match natural geology. The deeper you go, the stranger it gets. And yet, no one can explain who built it or why it's there. Then we arrive at Antarctica, where radar scans have picked up massive anomalies beneath the ice. One of them, near Lake Vostok, appears to be a dome-like structure buried under 2 miles of solid ice. Scientists claim it's just geological formation, but whispers persist about Nazi expeditions, UFO crash sites, and ancient alien bases frozen in time. Conspiracies? Maybe, but still, no official team has ever excavated it. Whatever lies beneath remains undisturbed. And don't forget Giza, Egypt. While the pyramids are world famous, few know about the underground chambers hidden below them. Beneath the Sphinx lies a sealed space, rumored to hold the Hall of Records, an ancient archive of pre-human knowledge. Ground-penetrating radar has confirmed voids and passageways under the plateau, but Egyptian authorities have largely restricted access. What are they protecting? Or what are they afraid we'll find? We've mapped the heavens and drilled through mountains, but we still don't understand what's buried beneath our feet. Some structures are too advanced, too old, or too strange to explain, and maybe that's the point. But we're not done yet. The final underground places aren't secret. They're hiding in plain sight, right under the cities we live in. Part 5, right beneath our feet. Sometimes the strangest underground structures aren't buried in deserts or mountains. They're right under our cities, ignored, forgotten, or simply unseen. These places were once full of life. Now they wait in silence, just beneath our daily routine. Start with Seattle, Washington, a modern city with a shadow city underneath. After the Great Seattle Fire of 1889, the city was rebuilt 1 story higher. But instead of destroying the old structures, they just left them. Today, you can still walk beneath the sidewalks, past old storefronts, hollow saloons, and rusted doors leading nowhere. It's like stepping into a version of the past that refused to disappear. Most locals walk above it daily, never realizing what's directly below them. In Cincinnati, Ohio, lies the unfinished Cincinnati subway, one of America's greatest urban mysteries. In the early 1900s, the city began digging miles of underground train tunnels, but funding ran dry and the entire project was abandoned. Decades later, the city grew above the tunnels. Now, sealed stairways and bricked-over entrances hint at the empty corridors below, perfect for stories of hauntings, smuggling, and secrets no one officially confirmed. Edinburgh, Scotland hides something even stranger, the Edinburgh Vaults. Built in the 1700s beneath South Bridge, the vaults once stored tools and goods. But as the city expanded, they were forgotten. Over time, they became shelters for the homeless, criminal hideouts, and places of rumored occult rituals. Tourists now visit by torchlight, but many report unexplained whispers, shadows, and cold spots. Whether haunted or not, the air itself feels heavy with untold stories. In Beijing, China, a Cold War-era secret still lingers underground. The underground city, a massive network of tunnels and shelters built to protect civilians from potential nuclear attacks. Spanning over 30 square miles beneath the capital, it was equipped with schools, hospitals, and food storage rooms. Officially, most of it is, quote, no longer in use. But no one truly knows how much of it still functions, or who may still be using parts of it today. And then there's Kansas City, Missouri, home to Subtropolis, the largest underground business complex in the world. Carved out of an old limestone mine, this climate-controlled megastructure hosts everything from data centers to government archives to movie storage. While not exactly a secret, most people don't realize how much of America's history and future is stored in a place that never sees the sun. Even in your own city, sealed doors and stairwells to nowhere might hide forgotten bunkers, utility tunnels, or even homes long erased from maps. We often think history is visible in books, museums, monuments, but so much of it lies under concrete, waiting.
Underground structures are more than engineering marvels. They're time capsules. Some were made to protect, others to hide. Some were built out of fear, others out of hope. But all of them share one thing: silence. Because what's buried isn't just metal and stone. It's the parts of our history too strange, too dangerous, or too unbelievable to stay in the light. What else lies below, still untouched? Maybe the real question isn't what's underground, but what's still waiting to be found. If this journey through forgotten depths kept you hooked, imagine what else is still hiding beneath our world. Don't just scroll past. Hit that like button, subscribe for more dark hidden stories, and drop a comment.